First reading. A reading from the second book of Chronicles, chapter 24, verses 17 to 25. After Jehoiada's death, the officials of Judah came to pay court to the king, and the king listened to their advice. And they abandoned the temple of Yahweh, God of their ancestors, for the worship of sacred poles and idols. Judah and Jerusalem incurred wrath because of this guilt of theirs. He sent the prophets to lead them back to Yahweh. These put the case against them, but they would not listen. The Spirit of God then invested Zechariah, son of Jehoiada, the priest. He stood up before the people and said, God says this. Why transgress Yahweh's commands to your certain ruin? For if you abandon Yahweh, he will abandon you. They then plotted against him, and at the king's order stoned him in the court of the temple of Yahweh. Thus King Joash, forgetful of the devotion which Jehoiada, father of Zechariah, had displayed on his behalf, murdered his son, who cried out as he died, Yahweh will see this and avenge it. Although the invading Aramean army was only a small body of men, Yahweh allowed them to defeat a very large army because they had abandoned Yahweh, God of their ancestors. Thus they executed judgment of Josh after they had retired, for they left him seriously wounded. His own retainers plotted against him to avenge the blood of the son of Jehoiada, the priest, and murdered him in his bed. When he died, he was buried in the city of David, but not in the tombs of the kings. This is the word of Lord. Thanks be to God. A reading from the Gospel according to Saint Matthew, chapter 6, verses 24 to 34. No one can be the slave of two masters. He will either hate the first and love the second, or be attached to the first and despise the second. You cannot be the slave both of God and of money. That is why I'm telling you not to worry about your life and what you ought to eat, nor about your body and what you ought to wear. Surely life is more than food, and the body more than clothing. Look at the birds in the sky. They do not sow or reap or gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not worth much more than they are? Can any of you, however much you worry, add one single cubit to your span of life? And why worrying about clothing? Think of the flowers growing in the fields. They never have to work or spin. Yet I assure you that not even Solomon in all his royal robes was clothed like one of these. Now, if that is how God clothes the wild flowers growing in the field, which are there today and thrown into the furnace tomorrow, will He not much more look after you, you who have so little faith? So do not worry, do not say, what are we to eat? What are we to drink? What are we to wear? It is the Gentiles who set their hearts on all these things. Your heavenly Father knows you need them all. Set your hearts on His kingdom first and on God's saving justice, and all these other things will be given you as well. So do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own.